The doctor set my parents down and said my life was fragile. Perspective is the game, and GaryVee the name. Just put your head down, do the work, and everything will change. Sipping tea, helping feels, yeah, that's what I wanted. Being patient, hella tricky, if I'm being honest.
See what GaryVee, preaching positivity.
What's good? I missed all of you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Alex.
Gary.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. What's
Doing
cooking?
well. Hey, man. I can't believe I'm not on call with you right now.
I'm glad to have you on.
Yeah. So I've been following you for a while now. We met in 2018 in Miami, right? And you had inspired me as one of the few real estate agents at the time with a D-Rock, following me around, documenting, editing, producing. And you told me, said, Alex, you just wait and see. In a couple of years, you're going to have a whole team behind you. And so I really took it to heart. And, fast forward now, we're in 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. And I took my real estate business. And I joined a partner with a venture-backed real estate brokerage called Side here in Silicon Valley. And, just like you said, now my business is supported by a team of people and a team of amazing people. So first off, thank you.
You're welcome. What can I answer for you?
So Side's model is it basically empowers top producing agents by taking their best interest at heart. And so they take successful brands centered around the agent rather than the brokerage. And these big box brokerages have failed to do this for a very long time.
I got it.
Yeah. And so, with you, you're the perfect David and Goliath story, right? Wine, you disrupted from the outside. Same thing with VaynerMedia. And so my question to you is, like, as the GaryVee of real estate for my company, what are some tips and strategies that have helped you disrupt the traditional markets, and why is it so important to have an outsider perspective to an industry like real estate when it's long overdue for evolution and change?
I think the thing that's always helped me is that I have a couple things going for me. One is patience. You're not going to disrupt anything. VaynerMedia is in year 11. I've really run it for 9 years. First 2 years were more AJ. I was still doing the wine stuff and writing Crush It. So you got to take the long game. Side is not going to, disrupt all these big names, Sotheby's, Remax, Keller. Like, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It takes a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades. So first, I've always had the long game in mind. That's one. Two, the weirdest thing about me that me and my team or my best friends or family always laugh about is the GaryVee thing has so become a thing that there's a lot of people that don't realize who Gary Vaynerchuk is, right? Like, the person that is actually, I haven't done tea with GaryVee, and I've done it once in every 2 weeks lately because I'm operating. Nobody's watching me when I'm on the phone right now at 8:30 in the morning, 8 to 8:30 in the morning with major executives in Dubai, or from 8:30 to 9 when I'm having a finance meeting and making decisions on restructuring our debt. And they don't see the operators. So I think the other thing that has made me disrupt the wine and marketing industry is actual operational talent, like genuinely being a businessman, not playing one on Instagram, right? And so I think and it's really worked for me in a lot of ways. Like, I feel like people continue to underrate me. I can't stop talking about sports cards right now. I don't know if you ever grew up collecting those, Alex, but you need to get re-educated. 2 years ago, I tell every one of my friends, and I'm talking like my brother and Tyler and Lou and Ryan Harwood from Gallery Media Group and David Levy, who I've done business with, and Sam Ben Ruby, people I've made money for in investing in companies. And I told all of them to get into sports cards, and nobody did. They dabbled, but nobody went hard. And it's because I'm actually still underrated. There's the part that has allowed me to disrupt is actual skill. And then being really, the next part I would say is being a culturally led CEO. To disrupt, you need continuity. Mm-hmm. You need the same people around you. You can't spend all your time retraining. And I think that one of the things that's really worked for me is I build families. I've built family at Facebook, at VaynerMedia, and at Wine Library, people that are there for 8, 12, 15 years. And that matters. So having compassion and empathy and being a true leader. So I think, and then I think finally, and by far the most important reason I've won is I'm 100% consumer centric. What you plan on disrupting is like, hey, Karen, you're a great agent here in Dallas. You're paying way too much tax to these logos. You should be making more of the money because you're the winner. Listen, it's run through my mind in the last 2, 3 years, 4 years of like, oh, if I launch Vayner, real estate and I take less commission and I build a machine to build up everyone's personal brand, I will win. Mm-hmm. So, I think that whoever brings the most value, VaynerMedia is doing a lot more for Kraft and Pepsi and GE and Chase and Diageo and on and on and on than what our competitors are for the same amount of money. It's not super complicated. Wine Library sold wine at a better price for customers and had better customer service. And so, I think it's that. And then I think, and then when you layer the fact that I've built a personal brand and bring a lot of awareness to the things I do, and even the way I've built a personal brand, in a lot of ways, I myself undermine my own quality because of the hyperbole, the high energy. A lot of people aren't sure if I'm even real or not. And so, I think those are kind of the ingredients when you ask that question that come to mind.
Awesome. So you said personal brand. And so, you always talk about attention and eyeballs, yes. Right? And knowing that in the future. And I remember you talked about how, like in the real estate industry, because there's so much money involved and such a low barrier to entry, that it just attracts a lot of C players, right? And so, yes. As a brokerage of the future, we want to develop, focus on developing the A players. And so, what are some opportunities that you might see in for this to grow and change and evolve as we build up leaders, particularly in this like COVID times with marketing and branding? And what advice do you have there?
My advice is actually to stay the course, but to cut out non-potential A winners along the way so that you hold up that equity. The biggest vulnerability you have if you actually mean building the A leaders is not taking the money from the obvious C and D players. That's the actual answer.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's the actual truth. And that's hard for a business that has the ability to take money from B and C players.
Awesome.
Alex, I'm rooting for you, brother. It's good to see you again.
Hey, Gary, good to see you too. Thanks so much for the time.
You're welcome. I really genuinely enjoyed all of you in the comments today. Please hit me up on Twitter right now, GaryVee on Twitter right now, and tell me what's good.